Well, hello everybody, and welcome back down to the shop this morning. I'm glad to see you stop by and let's talk about some fishing this morning. Got a little chilly this morning down here in Tennessee. I know it's starting to get the fall is really coming on quick, and them bass are moving up fast. I know at a lot of places there's already some snow in the forecast, but today we're going to talk about something that is one of my favorite things to do in the fall of the year, and that is the buzzbait. Now, buzzbaits come in every size, shape, color, sound, everything you can think of as far as buzzbaits. But I usually use about three different types of buzzbaits, and I'm going to show them to you here, and different techniques on what to put on them. Early in the fall, I mean, like, you know, you still got really hot weather, but it's kind of getting a little cool. The water starts falling down a little bit more. I will throw something that's got a skirt on it. Straight up skirt, water clarity. Of course, this one's chartreuse and red, but water clarity is a big consideration. But early in the season, I'm throwing one with a skirt on it. Now, one thing that I always, no matter what kind of trailer I have on my buzzbaits, I'm using a trailer hook. I'm using a trailer hook because your chances of hookup goes up tremendously with a trailer hook. Some trailers you can't use. I'm going to show you how to rig up a swim bait here in a minute, but I always use a trailer hook. Early in the year, I use a skirt, okay? With that being said, as the fall progresses and your nights fall on down in the 50s, you know, the shads start moving up. They start showing themselves. The further it goes down into the fall and the weather is really getting cool, I will change mine to a swim bait on the back because of the shad that's in the water. Okay, bass are moving up. Last week I was catching bass with a buzzbait about 12 to 18 inches deep. I mean, they're moved up dirt shallow, a lot of these places around here, and they're chasing shad. So I'm going to use something that's got a shad trailer. I ditched the skirt. I start putting on some kind of a swim bait on the backs of mine. Sometimes I'll take and substitute a fluke just with a chartreuse tail, maybe something that will correspond with the watercolor. You want something that acts really natural. Just something on that order with a fluke on there, straight tail, on a buzzbait, something like that, because that tail is going to swim anyway. It's going to move around, but it doesn't have the same action as a boot tail does, like our other one. As the nights get cooler, and you want to fish some at night, of course, we always go to a black. Always go to a black. Again, with the trailer hook on it, black, and this one here is got a clacker on it because at night you want them to see it, see the silhouette of that buzzbait, and some way to hear it with that clacker on there. I stay with black. Once again, black with a little bit bigger blade on it gives a different sound than that one with the clacker on it. Okay. Now I have other buzzbaits. This is just a few of my buzzbaits that I have. I've got some that swivel, that move, and that one's good. Again, I use it with a skirt mostly in the early fall, trailer hook, but it it swivels, so it gives it a whole different action as that's coming through the water. buzzbait as it goes along on down in the real deep fall. I'll throw a buzzbait 55 degrees. I'm still throwing a buzzbait. Anything after that, I kind of put them down. I believe that the fish will still hit at 55-degree water temperature, and I don't have any problem with it. But I do downsize it a little bit. I downsize it at night, same way, black blade, but it's a smaller buzzbait compared to one I was throwing in the earlier fall. You see what the difference? Have another one, different size, different color. It's a good color in the very late fall whenever they're starting. When they've seen everything, I'll throw this one. It's a smaller one, smaller blade. And most of the time, I'll start out with a small one in the early spring. As that water comes back up to 55, 57, 60, 63, I'll throw a smaller buzzbait in those earlier days, okay? That's what I'll do. Now, what I was going to show you about hooking up a swim bait on the back of these, I'll get a buzz bait. I'll take the skirt off because I want to use it in the fall. Like right now, I'm using a buzz bait with no skirt. This one's got a clacker on it. It just depends. Sometimes they like that, sometimes they don't. I seem to, in the late fall, I seem to get more bites with that clacker on there. And what I'll do, I'll take and with that boot tail, and I'll thread that on just like this, but I won't go all the way up on it. I'll leave just a little bit of room on it, on that swim bait, on that boot tail, to where it's sitting down. See how that's kind of sitting down just a little bit? I won't go all the way out on the end of that hook to where it's like that. I'll leave it where it's sagging down just a little bit. Then that way, I can put my trailer hook on there, and as it comes through the water, it does not disrupt how that boot tail is going to go, and you've still got a good hookup ratio on your buzz bait is that, because they'll come up, they'll try to attack this whole thing, and when they do, one of these two hooks is going to get them. Everything I do, I put a trailer hook on. I learned a long time. That's something that you have to do. I'll put them on chatterbaits. I'll put them on spinnerbaits. I'll put them on anything like that I need to guarantee I've got a good hookup on. Let me see here. Again, water clarity, something like that. If it's a lot stained water, dirtier water, spring of the year, and the water's muddy type, I'll throw this one here. Got good color to it. Again, I'll put my trailer hook on there. Now, that trailer hook, of course, sits up there, and you put a piece of rubber tubing or something right here to keep that on. But I throw one that can move, because it'll move like that, and whenever they're fighting it, you're gonna hold tight on it, and they can't get off that. Even though it'll move, they can't get off of it, okay? With my trailers on some of my buzz baits, I'll use fluke, of course. Sometimes I'll use a split tail. A zoom split tail is really good on them. I'll use this on my spinner baits as well, but I'll use that on, say, something like this right here. Just something to add to it. Now, again, water clarity. If the water's a little bit dirtier, stained up, I'll add a chartreuse to it. Something on that order right there. But just something. I know that color right there, if you fish center heel, that's a really good color right there to add to a spinnerbait or a buzz bait, is that chartreuse split tail. You can see how it splits. That's a really good trailer to hook to it too. I love buzz bait fishing in the fall. I keep one tied on all the time. In fact, This one right here is one I keep tied on 100% of the time. Just a quick thing on rods and everything. I use a 7'6" medium heavy. Still got some play up in the tip of it. It's still got somewhat of a fast tip to get a good cast. And I always use a 7-to-1 reel. I usually, this time of year, I put this Revo on there, 7-to-1 with 12-pound big game trilene mono, because I've tried it with a braid and it just doesn't cut it. I found that mono, whenever they hit, it kind of stretches a little, gives you a time to let them have it, and you set the hook too. So that's what I use as far as a rod on every one of my buzz baits. That's what I use, no matter whatever size it is, whether it's a big one or whether it's a smaller one, I'll use that. So that's our topic today. I'm glad y'all come by the shop. It's getting cooler. If you're not on the lakes and the rivers and everything right now, you're missing out, because the fish are feeding up for the winter. They're chasing shad. They're chasing anything that they can eat to fatten up for the fall and the winter coming. So get out there, get after them, and try to make, hopefully some of this information you can use on your buzz baits. I know it's kind of limited on some of the information about buzz baits on the YouTube, but that's what I use, how I rig them, what I throw with them. That's it right there. If I'm in this time of year, I've got one rigged up. So I appreciate you coming by the shop. I always look forward to somebody coming by and stopping and us talk some fishing. If you don't mind, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be seeing you later. And hope you catch every fish there is in the lake to put them in the boat. Thanks a lot.